What's up guys, Chef Benjamin with 9 to 5 Mac. So iOS 26.4 dropped with tons of new features. In this video, we're gonna cover over 40 of them. And I guarantee there's at least a few that you haven't seen yet. Check it out. So the initial beta for iOS 26.4 is out and it comes with the build number, as you can see here, 235207Q. Now, one of the nice things about iMessage versus SMS messaging is that it's end-to-end encrypted. But now in 26.4 beta 1, we have the option to enable end-to-end encryption for RCS conversations. Now, this isn't going to be available for all devices and carriers up front, but over time, support should arrive for more carriers and devices. Now here's our first look at notification forwarding, which is a feature that will be released in the EU. Notification forwarding basically will allow third-party devices to receive notifications via Bluetooth, similar to how the Apple Watch currently receives notifications that are forwarded from your iPhone. But now, at least in the EU initially, it'll work with third-party smartwatches and other devices. So here's how it works. So first of all, you simply pair your smartwatch or other device, just like this. So it's pairing. Now the accessory is paired. And once it's paired, you can send a test notification or request notification forwarding. So let's go ahead and submit the request. And now you'll see this: forward notifications to smartwatch. So notifications from apps on your iPhone can be displayed on smartwatch. So just tap setup, and then it'll ask you what notifications you actually want to forward to this accessory. And it'll also present to you how many apps you have notifications enabled for. So in this example, I have 8 apps with notifications turned on. I can either forward all those apps, or I can choose specific apps that I want to turn forwarding on, or I can choose don't forward. So that is notification forwarding to third-party devices. Now, one of the standout features in iOS 26.4 is the full bleed album artwork and playlist artwork. So this album from Taylor Swift is a great example because you get the animated artwork and it's a really nice purple color on the album artwork itself, and that extends down all the way through the entire playlist, or through the entire track listing, I should say. And we'll check out some of the other albums. You'll see the different colors and how they mesh with the whole thing. And you'll also notice the updated shuffle and add and play buttons. So here's red. You can see that muted brown color all throughout the track listing. And let's go to 1989. You'll see the blue from it. I really think Apple just knocked it out of the park with this redesign to Apple Music. It's a subtle design update, but it looks great, especially with the animated album artwork combined together with that full bleed track listing. And this also works with playlists as well. So based on your playlist cover, you can see I just have a little brown table, or the little beige table, and how the beige just blends right in with the track listing of the playlist. And I might as well just go ahead and throw in that shameless plug. Check out my little tracks here on Apple Music. My goal for 2026 was to make all my own original music for background music and whatnot in my videos, because I just feel like stock music has now just been infiltrated by AI nonsense. Check the link down below if you want to give it a listen. I got a lot on my mind, but I stay on the grind. I got a lot in my past, never hit and rewind. Another neat music app update is the Concerts Near You feature. So you have upcoming concerts. You see the little tag there for Yumizuma. That's actually not tappable, but it just lets you know that if you scroll down, you'll see a list of upcoming concerts, and you can see them here. You see 5 of them are presented, but if you tap all, you'll see all the list of the upcoming concerts there. And you can tap on individual dates just like this, and that'll give you more details on the venue. You can tap to get tickets. You can add it to your calendar. You can open the location and maps. So if you tap get tickets, depending on the vendor, in this case, it's Ticketmaster in the United States, it's going to take you to Ticketmaster's website so you can purchase a ticket. Or if you go to some of the others, I'll show you that a little bit later, but if you tap the event button, you can add that event directly to your calendar right from the music app. And you can also open up the Maps app to take you directly to the venue so you can get directions to that venue. But another thing that you'll notice here is that depending on the location, is the vendor may change basically. So here in Oslo, that's actually powered by Ticketmaster. Let's go to Paris, and you can see there it's powered by Bands in Town. So if you tap on the Get Tickets button, you actually get 2 options there, Dice or Bands in Town. So it's just going to depend on the venue. Another music related thing is a redesigned Apple account profile page. And this actually extends to other areas like the TV app, etc. But here you can see the redesign. Specifically pay attention to the little bottom section where you have add money, redeem code, and send gift. Now here's a really cool 26.4 feature, the ability to add music to multiple playlists in one fell swoop. So previously, of course, if you wanted to add a song to a playlist, you just tap add to playlist, and then you could just tap the playlist that you wanted to add that track to. So in this case, I want to add it to, I don't know, let's choose this one right here. So I added it to alarms for whatever reason. But now let me show you the difference here. If I go back and add to playlist, if I tap this little button right here in the bottom right hand corner, you see that? So now I can use those radio buttons to choose multiple playlists to add this single track to. So I can add it to chills, I can add it to classics, I can add it to EDM. And it also will tell you if the song is already in an existing playlist. So for instance, if I go back to add to playlist, you're going to see it's going to tell you, see it's added to those 3, but you can see it's in playlist already. Now, there aren't many new AI features in 26.4. I know everyone's waiting on Gemini, but this is definitely one of them, and it is called Playlist Playground. So you can start with an idea, use the prompt, or add songs and a title. So we'll go ahead and add a title for our playlist. We'll just call it Jams. And just like before, you can add songs directly to that playlist just by tapping Add Songs. It'll also provide suggestions for you as well. So if I add songs, I can just choose whatever song I want from my library or choose one of the suggested songs, 1901, just like that by Phoenix. And Playlist Playground will also just recommend suggested songs right here at the bottom. So you can just add another song just like that. But the really cool thing about Playlist Playground is the ability to enter a prompt to create your own playlist. And I'm going to show you how that all works right now. So let's delete these. And now when I tap here, first of all, it gives you playlist ideas. So I can just tap the ideas, for instance, morning coffee music, and it will automatically find related songs for you and build a playlist just like this. So watch this pretty little animation there as well. You can see there it is. These are chill, relaxing morning coffee shop tunes. And you can, of course, reorder those or remove certain songs if you want to and customize that playlist. But you can also use a prompt. So right here in Customize Playlist, you can just type in a text prompt, just like you would type in a ChatGPT, for instance, and just say, like, keep only upbeat, positive. Well, if I can learn how to spell positive songs. All right. And then just submit the prompt there. It says keep only upbeat positive songs, and it's doing its thing, and it's going to curate this playlist. Hopefully. Takes a little while. There we go. All right. So, I mean, I guess it did a good job. I'm not familiar with all these songs, but as you can see there, it gives you some details at the top. Simplified the playlist to upbeat and happy vibes. Pretty cool. And iOS 26.4 adds new ambient music widgets. So previously, this is a relatively recent addition to iOS, the ambient music feature. You can find that within Control Center. And with a single tap, you can start playback of those ambient music playlists. And you can customize them as well. So if I do so right here within Control Center, I can customize the sleep playlist with some of the pre-suggested ones or my own custom playlist as well. So that's cool. It's nice to be able to do that, but you have to go to Control Center to do so. So I'm playing back that song, I tap here, and then I can see that sort of separate little mini app for ambient music. But now here in 26.4, you can add a widget specifically for ambient music. There's actually 2 different versions available, a small and a medium widget. We're going to go ahead and add that medium widget to our home screen. And from there, you can, of course, go in and customize that widget, but you can have one-tap access to those playlists. So I can go in, edit widget, and just like on the Control Center, I can customize the playlist. I can go in there and choose my own custom playlist or update it from one of the suggested playlists that Apple provides as well. So it's nice to have that right there on your home screen. You can just simply tap it, and that will start playback of any one of the 4 playlists thanks to that medium widget. Now, of course, when music is playing back, if you tap in the dynamic island, you can see that song. But again, that's separate from the music app. You see its own little ambient music little mini app. In 26.4 Beta 1, we found a new companion pairing system app, and this will likely be used to pair the upcoming HomePod device that has been rumored for quite some time now. And as a bonus, the app will include the following interesting new chime that I don't think anyone has heard before. Check it out. Speaking of chimes, we found a couple of new Siri-related latency chimes. We're not exactly sure if this is for internal testing or if this will be for something user-facing in the future, but here they are. This first one is called Latency Response. And this one is called Latency Loop. The App Store gets some updates in 26.4, a relocated search box. When you tap search, search is no longer at the bottom like it's been, but now it's back up at the top. So whenever you want to perform your search, you just type there in the top little box, which is kind of interesting since that's right next to the advertisements in the app, but I don't know. It's just an interesting change. What do you think? In the App Store app, along with getting the refreshed little look here with the add money, redeem code, and send gift options in the profile panel, you'll notice a new separate updates panel now that is separate from the main profile panel. Used to be all in one. Now you get this separate little tab just like that. So previously you had it where you could scroll down here and you would see all your updates, but now you have to go into updates and you can still pull to refresh to pull in all your latest updates. Now let's talk about a few public frameworks that are a part of the iOS SDK. First of all, there's a new AudioAccessoryKit public framework. And although documentation is not yet available based on strings that we found in the binary, this seems to be the framework that third-party manufacturers will use to implement AirPods-like automatic device switching. This is also indicated by a new third-party audio switching feature flag that we found as well. Stay tuned for more on that. Okay, by a show of hands, who here loves elliptic digital signature algorithms? Anybody? Well, if so, you'll be happy to know that a new ByteMatrixVerification Framework is now included in iOS 26.4 Beta 1. This adds support for P256 elliptic curve cryptographic signature verification. Obviously. There's also a new ClassKitUI Framework, and this will allow students to submit and withdraw assigned documents. There's also support in iOS 26.4 for the ImmersiveMediaSupport Framework. Now, this has already been implemented in places like visionOS, of course, and macOS, but now it is available in iOS. There's also a new setting for voice synthesizer, which seems to be related to the personal voice accessibility setting. And the Snippet UI framework, which is used by Siri and shortcuts, now has first-class support for Markdown. Now, Apple Podcasts in 26.4 will provide an enhanced video experience for users. And this is particularly interesting for me and Fernando because we have 9 to 5 Mac Overtime, of course, which is a video-first podcast. So, of course, we have the audio version in Apple Podcasts, but up until now, you had to watch the video version on YouTube, right?
I think the biggest feature was like an Android feature to transfer to Android, like to migrate your stuff over to an Android phone if you wanted to move that way. So
if you wanted to move in that direction.
Yeah, if you wanted to move in that direction.
If you want to walk that walk.
And hopefully you do that already. Hopefully you're a fan, you watch Overtime and you're subscribed and all that. But this new feature is powered by HLS technology, which provides automatic quality adjustments, and you can easily switch between video and audio with a simple tap of a button, and it's a seamless transition between both, something that we haven't had up until now. It'll also offer offline video playback and new monetization options for creators. Now, stolen device protection is not a new feature. It's been around for a while, but in iOS 26.4, this will be enabled by default. So now it is opt-out. But basically, when you go into settings and go into privacy security, you'll find stolen device protection as an option. And basically, the point of this whole feature is to prevent someone from changing your passcode if they happen to steal your device and they already know your passcode. So what this does is implements a security delay, which will prevent someone from changing your passcode or other security settings while that delay is enforced. And you can enforce that by location. So when you're away from a familiar location, you can institute that delay, or you can just say always institute the delay to prevent your passcode and security changes from taking effect when someone steals your phone. So let me give you a brief demonstration on how it works. So with stolen device protection currently on, I'm going to go in here and you can see it's on within Face ID and passcode settings as well. But if you go to change the passcode, it's going to verify with Face ID, but it's also going to say, hey, stolen device protection is enabled. There's a security delay required to change your passcode. So this delay will last for an hour. You'll still be able to use your phone, but you're not going to be able to change security settings. So I can say start security delay if I want to, and that will delay for an hour, and I have 60 minutes before I'm able to make any security changes to this device. But if I happen to appear at a prominent or a known location, I should say, so I'm going to actually enable location services here in just a second, and it's going to know, since I'm in the office right now, it's going to know that, hey, this is a location that he's always at, so it's okay to go ahead and allow him to change the passcode. See, the security delay ended because I'm in a familiar location. It knows that, and now I can go in and change security settings. Any GymKit fans in the house? Well, if so, you might be excited to learn that there is a new FitnessMachineServices Subsystem. And what this appears to do is to integrate Fitness Plus workouts with GymKit equipment. 26.4 also includes a new urgent smart list for reminders. You can see it right here. Now, actually in 26.2, Apple implemented a new feature that allows you to set urgent reminders, and you can designate a reminder as urgent, and what that will do is use AlarmKit to actually set a full screen alarm for you that's not affected by focus mode. So if you really need to be reminded of something, this is a good option. So Freeform gets an app icon update and new onboarding to correspond with the launch of Creator Studio. And of course, Freeform will gain some exclusive benefits for those that are Creator Studio subscribers. So stay tuned for that. And speaking of that, you see new Gemini references in Freeform code. So you're going to have some AI assisted features that are coming down the pipeline in the near future. And Shortcuts gets a couple of new actions related to charge limits for your batteries. So here I'm going to select a set charge limit to, and I can choose 80, 85, 90, 95, etc. And I can use that as a shortcut action. And then I also have the get battery status, which is updated with the status of whether or not a charge limit is instituted or not, just like that. So I have the set charge limit to 80%. If I get the charge limit, it's going to tell me the charge limit is, of course, at 80%. So this is one of the more interesting new features. iCloud allows search on iCloud.com. So if you go to iCloud settings and you scroll down, you'll see iCloud.com. That's not new. We've been able to allow data access on iCloud.com for a while, but what is new is this new allow search option. So this will allow a trusted Apple device to provide search results to iCloud.com. So when you turn that on, you'll see this splash screen, allow search on iCloud.com, and this is for photos and for files in the Files app. So if I tap allow, this device can be used as a trusted device for iCloud.com searches. Now this is a beta feature, so you have to go to beta.icloud.com, sign in, and once you sign in, you'll find the new ability to search your iCloud photos and iCloud Drive directly from iCloud.com. Previously, this search option just wasn't there at all. But now when I search, notice what you see. Enable search with iPhone 16 Pro Max. So basically your device gives permission to search on iCloud.com. And this is totally independent of features like advanced data protection or any of that. This lives on its own, so you can set this up without actually having advanced data protection enabled. And as you can see, I'm able to search my songs and my photos on iCloud.com, courtesy of being given access by my iPhone 16 Pro Max, as you can see there. So what do you guys think about this new feature? Let me know down below. 26.4 also brings about the ability to offload wallpapers. So here you can see various groups of wallpapers and various types. So you have like collections, or you have emoji. Let's go ahead and tap get for emoji. What that's going to do is grab all of those wallpapers, make them an option to select. So I can choose which wallpaper I want from that particular collection, set it as a wallpaper, and we're done. But if I ever want to offload those wallpapers, or I know I won't be using a specific one from that collection, I can tap right here and then I can say remove. But notice you're not going to be able to remove because I'm still using that wallpaper, so I had to remove that wallpaper first. Another new feature is the ability to migrate data directly between browsers. Now, the ability to import or export browser data is not a new feature, but now you can actually do so directly to a third-party web browser once they are updated with the ability to do so. Previously, you could export or import data, but you could only do so directly to the Files app. But now you can do so directly to a compatible browser, which is going to save you time. You don't have to finagle with trying to figure out where to store the exported or imported data for that matter. So here's how you currently have to do it. Export browsing data. You can choose all the various parameters and save it to your drive, but now you can do so directly to a compatible browser. And you'll find your personal hotspot usage data in a new place in 26.4. So it's actually under personal hotspot, under a section called data usage. There you can find all the devices that have connected to your hotspot. And for iPad users, you'll be happy to know that compact Safari tabs are now back for iPadOS, starting with iPadOS 26.4. You can go into the settings for Safari and enable these compact tabs if you prefer that browsing experience. So here in Safari settings, you can see there, compact tab bar, just select that. And iPadOS gains the ability to quickly show hidden windows as well. So here, when I open Safari, it'll show you one hidden window or however many hidden windows you have. You tap that and there you can view all your windows in an expose view for quick and easy access to those windows that correspond to the app you're using. And the iPad's not the only thing to get some love with regard to compact Safari tabs. You also have them now back in macOS 26.4 beta. And again, you can go into the settings and enable the compact tab bar, just like I'm doing right here. So there you go, tab layout, compact. Which one do you prefer? I think I like compact better. And macOS for the first time gets the ability to set a charge limit for your MacBook Pro's battery, which is a welcome addition. So now in the battery settings, you'll see the ability to change between 80% all the way up to 100% with the aim of extending your battery's overall lifespan. And the music app in macOS gains a little bit more flexibility when it comes to the now playing UI. So no longer do you have to go into full screen mode to get that now playing interface. Now there's simply a now playing option, which allows you to enjoy a now playing view without having to go full screen. Full screen is still an option, but it's nice to be able to enjoy now playing without being forced in a full screen view. And we also found evidence that Apple is planning M5-based private cloud compute architecture for Apple Intelligence. According to a new private cloud compute software released this week, Apple is starting to use M5 chips in Apple private cloud compute servers. There are also references to something called Apple Cloud Compute Agent Worker, which runs a version of iOS with a new agentic architecture for serving AI requests. 26.4 includes code for interfacing with this new private cloud compute architecture as well. And this architecture runs on new hardware with a model number J226C powered by the M5 chip. And although details are sparse, it's evidence that Apple continues to invest in its private cloud compute infrastructure. And if you go to Settings, Camera, and then select Record Sound, you're going to find a new switch for Audio Zoom. You may remember Audio Zoom is that feature that focuses the recorded audio on wherever you're zooming with your camera. So now you have the option to turn that on or off. So as you can see, iOS 26.4 is jam-packed with new changes and features. Which one is your favorite one? I'm interested to hear what you have to think. Of course, I show you all the user-facing features, but do you like the deep dives where we dig in and show you what's under the hood waiting as well? Let me know down below in the comments section, and also leave a thumbs up because that helps other people to know that this video is legitimate. Of course, we got a whole lot more stuff marinating for you guys, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, check out these other videos. I think you'll like these too. This is Jeff with 9 to 5 Mac.